2026 is looking to be an absolutely stacked year for movies. We've already gotten some bangers, and here are my picks for my top 10 most anticipated films of the rest of the year. Coming in at number 10, we got The Mandalorian and Grogu. It's a new Star Wars movie. It's kind of hard not to be at least a little bit excited for that name. But however, I do wish I could say I was more excited about this one. I was a huge fan of Mando seasons 1 and 2, but season 3, I feel I just really lost interest in the way they were taking things. A lot of the episodes just didn't really have that much of a hook to them, didn't feel like they were progressing the story forward a whole lot, and I wasn't super satisfied with the way they took things, especially in the finale. I thought the runner-up to the finale of season 3 was very strong, but I wasn't a huge fan of the payoff. It was fine, obviously, but just I didn't feel season 3 nowhere near matched the hype of season 1 and 2, and I do hope that this movie at least can at least go back to some of the magic that was in those first 2 seasons. I'm not expecting a whole lot, but it has that Star Wars name. Apparently, we're going to be getting some pretty cool moments with AT-ATs. We're getting some returning characters from Rebels and Clone Wars. It's Jon Favreau. I feel like he's definitely one of the better leads over at Disney Star Wars right now. I feel like he's been doing a better job with it than most of the other people, so I do have more faith in him than a bunch of the other creators that have been working on Disney Star Wars projects lately. I just hope this movie can find a way to justify its existence and not just be another soulless Disney filler Star Wars property just there solely for the sake of making money without any actual soul or purpose. If this movie can make an impact on the Star Wars story and feel something that we felt in those early seasons, then I'll be satisfied with it. At number 9, we got Disclosure Day. This is Steven Spielberg's new movie, obviously one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. There's no really debate about that. But yeah, these trailers, they've seemed interesting. It's obviously an original film. It's not based on a franchise or anything. But I mean, it's Steven Spielberg. You can never really go wrong with him. The trailers look intriguing. I mess with alien movies, like I wouldn't say there's really any alien movies that are in like my top favorite movies of all time. You usually have a pretty fun time with alien movies, and especially the like government conspiracy cover-ups. I think all the concepts in this movie definitely seem to be something that I would definitely find interesting. The cast looks very good. Everyone seems to be doing a really good job in that department. I like that we're not really getting too much of what's actually going on in the story. All the trailers we've gotten are very much teases. Apparently, they've shown nothing from the third act so far, which makes me very excited. Can't wait to see what the actual aliens themselves look like and how these things are going to play out. But yeah, I mean, Steven Spielberg, and I trust that he's going to deliver a banger movie like he always does. So that's why it's on the list. At number 8, we got Toy Story 5, 5th entry in the Toy Story franchise, obviously, as you can probably guess by the name. I've always liked the Toy Story movies. They've never been my favorite, but I mean, I did grow up with them. Compared to other series though, like How to Train Your Dragon, or like Cars, or Kung Fu Panda, a bunch of other animated properties, it's never really ranked among my absolute favorites, but I've never had a problem with them. I've always enjoyed them. And I'm expecting Toy Story 5 to be another solid entry in the series. I don't really think I'd really rate any Toy Story movie under an 8 out of 10. I find them all very enjoyable. They're very consistent. And from what I've seen in the trailers especially, like this movie seems to be capturing the heart of what's made the earlier entries so special. Even though it's the 5th entry at this point, they just keep finding new reasons to make this franchise relevant, new reasons to keep bringing these characters back, even when we think we've gotten the ending. And apparently Toy Story 5 won't be the last one, so I'm not really sure what to make of that. But I mean, as long as I can just keep delivering banger stories from this franchise, like I'm all for it. I think there's lots of potential here, especially like for messaging to kids based on where the current generation is at, with this one obviously being aimed at like iPad kids who are just like, not actually spending actual time with toys anymore, or actually like learning how to like be normal kids. I think there's lots of potential for a good story to be told with this movie. And I'm just happy that Disney isn't just treating this Toy Story franchise as, like I said, with some of their Star Wars properties and other franchises, just as soulless cash grabs. I think they genuinely do still care about the Toy Story movies. And I expect that we're going to see that shown again in Toy Story 5, and I hope they can prove me right here, because I'm anticipating quite a lot from this one. Number 7, we got Jumanji Open World, the 3rd and final entry in the Jumanji trilogy from Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and all them. I love the first 2 Jumanji movies. They're absolutely some of my favorite, like popcorn comfort movies. You're not expecting a deep story or deep messaging or crazy emotional stakes or anything. You just go in these movies for lots of fun and absolutely some of the best chemistry I've ever seen between the lead actors. All 4 of them, they work together so perfectly. It's some of the best chemistry I've seen in movies. It's like up there with the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers. Like these characters, it's so much fun seeing them wherever they go. I'm, like I said, I'm a huge fan of the first two films. I find them some of the most entertaining movies I've ever seen. They're just always like such a funny time, such an awesome time. And yeah, I'm not expecting a hugely deep story from this thing or anything. I'm just expecting another awesome time with these characters that I love, that are so much fun to spend time with, and they just always find a way to deliver consistently entertaining, funny, with just all around great moments. They're super fast paced, like never a dull moment in these movies, bro. I love these movies so much, and I believe this is gonna be a strong conclusion to this trilogy. And I'm gonna be sad to see it go, but I mean, we don't want it to overstay its welcome, obviously. And this is gonna go down not as one of the best trilogies of all time, definitely one of the most rewatchable, I would say, in my opinion, if they stick the landing. At number 6, we got Supergirl. It is the second movie in James Gunn's new DCU. It started with Superman last summer, which I absolutely loved. One of my favorite movies of last year. And I expect this to be another banger entry into the DCU. The trailers have looked very good so far, especially the soundtracks. I've loved the soundtracks they've used in these trailers. The direction with this movie, they seem to be going with Crypto and, trying to say, Kara trying to save her dog, trying to save Crypto. I think that's a very strong and relatable and powerful message to use in a movie. And I don't think we've seen that too much in a superhero movie before. It's like a dog movie. Like, if we are actually getting a dog superhero movie about saving a dog, like, this could be a really special movie. I'm gonna be honest, because I love animals. They're one of my favorite things in the world. I love my dogs. And if they can like deliver a movie that like resonates with, like loving your pets and wanting to help them and saving them and taking care of them, and like, oh man, like the potential for this movie, this could be one of the most emotional superhero movies I've ever seen if it's done right. And I don't really see much people talking about that. If they can like deliver like an emotionally resonant superhero dog movie, like this is gonna be like insane. Like, if that's the direction they go, which I hope it is, like, then I think we could truly be looking at a really special movie here. And number 5, we got Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Obviously, Christopher Nolan is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. It's one of those directors, like, you just see their name attached to it. You know it's going to be an awesome movie, even if you haven't heard a single thing about it. I don't think Christopher Nolan has ever delivered a bad or even, like, less than good movie in his lifetime. All of his movies have been good to, like, masterpieces, best of all time, especially things like Interstellar, The Dark Knight, Oppenheimer, Inception, all those movies, just absolute masterpieces, I gotta be honest. I know some people might find it weird that I don't have The Odyssey even higher on this list. It's just because while I do believe The Odyssey is going to be an absolutely awesome movie, I would expect it to be pretty close to a masterpiece, especially since it's from Christopher Nolan. It's just that it doesn't have that quite deep of an emotional resonance that I have for these other top 4 franchises that I've kind of grown up with, and having I just don't have as much of a deep connection with Christopher Nolan and his style as the other movies that are coming up on this list. I'm obviously super excited for it. I have no doubt it's going to be an absolute banger movie. I think it's going to be a contender for Oscar Best Picture, obviously, and I know I'm going to have an awesome time with it. It's just, I just don't quite resonate with Christopher Nolan and his style as much as I resonate with the films coming up on this list. It's just personal opinion, and I would expect to see a lot more people rank this near the top of this list or at the top of their list, and I do not blame them for it. I can totally understand if this is your most anticipated movie of the year, as it definitely has a lot of reasons to be. Number 4, we have Dune Part 3, the final entry in the Dune trilogy. I liked the first Dune. I thought it was good. Obviously, people, I think, were comparing it to things like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and all that. I didn't feel as emotionally connected to the first Dune movie as I would have felt after watching, say, Fellowship of the Ring or A New Hope. But I thought it was a good movie. I thought it's definitely better than a lot of the stuff we've been getting lately, and I respect that we're actually like getting a new entry into a new universe after the last many years have just kind of been ruled by Star Wars and Marvel. I like that we're taking tries with new franchises, and I think that's important for the industry to keep going beyond just Marvel and Star Wars, because they can't stay forever. They're gonna have to find an endpoint somewhere, and we're gonna need new franchises to help those things carry on. And I think the Dune series has proven itself to be like worthy. It's proven itself to be worthy and living up to the franchises, the movie universes before it. And that's what I respect about the first Dune movie. The second Dune movie, however, though, I thought that was absolutely so much better than the first one. I thought it was very, very good. Still, I don't think it quite reached the highs of Lord of the Rings. I know a lot of people did, but I just found it to be a very well-made movie, very well paced. The action is insane. The sound was insane. The visuals, all of it. And I wasn't expecting to get the third movie for a while because apparently the director said he wanted to make a bunch of other things before this one. Apparently there's a very big time jump in the books as well. But I mean, we're getting it just 2 years after the second one. So yeah, another thing I respect about this trilogy is they have released some films very close together. We've gotten a whole trilogy of very, very big movies, very high budget, big stakes movies, all in just 5 years. That's like, considering the release windows, the release distances between lots of movies and shows and everything these days, that's got to be one of the most impressive filmmaking achievements of the last decade. The fact that we got this whole trilogy, one of the biggest, it's going to be one of the biggest trilogies of all time for sure, in just 5 years. Like, apart from Lord of the Rings and some of the Star Wars trilogies, like this is some of the best release distancing I've seen for movies in a long time. And I expect Dune 3 is going to be an absolute like massive stakes movie, bigger than the last two even. I expect it's going to be very emotional, very dark, very tragic. We're going to be dealing with apparently billions and billions of people dying, absolutely massive battles. Like, the stakes, the scope of this story is looking to be among the biggest we've ever seen in any movie ever. So that alone gets me very excited for it. As I said, I don't have the deepest emotional connection to this franchise, but I'm excited for it because I know it's going to be an awesome movie. And if they can deliver a banger conclusion to this trilogy, then it is absolutely going to be considered one of the great trilogies of all time. That first movie just dragged it down just a bit because I don't think it's anything super special. But I mean, I won't blame people if they start putting Dune near the level of Lord of the Rings after Dune Part 3 comes out, and it is a very good movie. I don't think I'm ever gonna put it on the same level as Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and all that, just because it's not really my style. I prefer, more hopeful fantasy, more definitive good versus dark, things like that. But totally understand people who are more into the morally ambiguous, there's no good, no evil, only perspective side of things, with maybe not the most hopeful ending, but more realistic directions to take the story. If you're into that thing, then I can definitely see the Dune trilogy and especially Dune Part 3 being very strong for you, just not as strong as they are for me. And number 3, I have The Hunger Games, The Sunrise on the Reaping. I've always been a really big fan of this franchise. I'm a fan of all the Hunger Games movies we've gotten, some more than others, obviously, but I don't consider any of them to be bad. I like all of them, and some of them I really like, especially Catching Fire, obviously, that's probably the best one. But I am pretty confident in saying that this, if they do the book justice, which I read last year, absolutely loved it. And I thought to myself, I need this movie because this book is one of the best things I've ever read in my life. It's one of the most tragic things, one of the most epic things, epic stories like I've ever just read in general. And I need this movie right now. And yeah, if they can do the book justice with this movie, like if you haven't read the book, this is by far the darkest Hunger Games movie, by far the saddest Hunger Games movie, by far the Hunger Games movie with the most epic moments, just so super fast paced. Every single part of this story just has some insane it's insane. I can't really get into it a whole lot because I don't want to spoil, but it's tragic, it's epic, it's sad, it's awesome. It's everything you want a Hunger Games movie to be. The games themselves are considered the best Hunger Games we've ever gotten, with double the number of competitors. I need this movie right now, and I know it might be a controversial pick to have this third most anticipated movie of the year, but I mean, I love the book. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up loving this movie. It's just my opinion, but I'm very confident in saying that this is probably going to be one of my favorite movies of the year. And this could genuinely end up being my favorite Hunger Games movie. And number 2, we have Spider-Man Brand New Day. Tom Holland's 4th Spider-Man movie. It's the first Spider-Man to get 4 movies. So good for him. Trailer, we've gotten 1 trailer for it so far. It's a very good trailer. I've watched it a lot of times. And we seem to be getting lots of characters in this movie. We're getting Hulk, Scorpion, possible look at Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, Punisher, obviously, the many villains, and maybe a little bit of setup for Doomsday in here as well, especially with the post-credit scene. I'm definitely anticipating at least a bit of some Doomsday tie-in with this movie, especially since it was originally supposed to release after. But yeah, I mean, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. I love every single Spider-Man movie. There's not a single bad Spider-Man movie, in my opinion. And I'm, in my opinion, the most relatable superhero out there. And especially with the direction they're taking things in this story, with a grounded, depressed, lonely Spider-Man, which is kind of what the core of the character is all about. We're finally getting to see, for really the first time ever, we got to see a bit of it in especially the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, but not so much until the end of TASM 2 for Andrew Garfield, and not really at all in the Tom Holland trilogy. And now we're getting a whole movie kind of dedicated to to a Spider-Man with living like that. It's definitely very exciting to look forward to. The web swinging, it seems to be this movie seems to be a lot more practical, especially things like the web swinging in action. It looks to be some of the best web swinging we've ever got, and even the posters, like the posters have been absolute bangers for this movie so far. So yeah, I mean, I love Spider-Man. Of course, it's one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I have very little doubt this is probably going to end up being another absolute banger of a Spider-Man movie. And who knows, maybe it'll even be up there among the best. And number one, of course, I'm pretty sure most of the people watching this video won't be too surprised about this. Avengers Doomsday, December 18th, 2026, mark the day. Doomsday is coming. This is my most anticipated movie of all time, along with Secret Wars, because Secret Wars is part 2 to this story. But man, the MCU is probably the franchise that is closest to my heart out of any film media franchise in general. I've grown up with these movies. I love all these characters. I'm a huge fan of almost every film in the MCU, which is crazy. We're gonna have like 40 by the time this thing comes out. And the fact that so many of them just consistently rank among some of my favorite superhero movies and just movies in general, I think that says a lot about what this universe has become. And even with phases 4 and 5, Astra Endgame, definitely being way more inconsistent and having way more misses, there's still definitely people who still care. And we've still been getting bangers since Endgame. We've gotten Deadpool and Wolverine, we've gotten Guardians of the Galaxy 3, we've gotten Spider-Man No Way Home, we've gotten Thunderbolts, we've gotten Fantastic Four First Steps. The fact that this movie isn't just MCU, this is going back to the Fox X-Men, the old Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure, just like pretty much everything Marvel has ever done up to this point. This is going to be the biggest movie ever released in history. Like, I think this is going to make at least $2 billion. It's going to be absolutely massive, and it's going to be epic, it's going to be tragic, it's going to be insane. It's my most anticipated movie of all time. I can't wait to see what happens. I need this movie right now. I can't wait to see what these do with these characters. I can't wait to see Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. Can't wait to hear Alan Silvestri's score once again. One of the greatest scores of all time is that Avengers score. To hear it in theaters again, it's gonna be special. Like, I don't think it is a hugely underestimated how popular this movie is gonna be, but I think there's still people out there who have doubts. Like, I don't think it's gonna live up to the last Avengers movies. I'm gonna say, I think this could end up being the biggest Avengers movie we've ever gotten. I think it might outgross Endgame. I know it's a crazy take, but we could be going into 2027 and seeing Avengers Doomsday grossing that $3 billion mark, and with literally everyone on the planet talking about how hyped they are for Secret Wars. Like, pretty sure this is gonna be the biggest movie of all time. I just can't wait for this movie. I love Marvel so much, and I'm confident that the Russo bros are going to give us an unforgettable experience with this movie. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments your most anticipated movies for the rest of the year. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe if you liked the video. We're going to have some more banger content coming your way soon. We got the Invincible finale dropping next week. We got Maul Shadow Lord dropping every week. And we have a lot of movies coming this year to look forward to. And we'll be getting lots of reviews, rankings, all sorts of that stuff here on this channel. So if you're into that, just maybe stick around, And I will see you guys in the next one.